guys, it's Kate here for part 2 of my book haul, and I'm really looking forward to showing you this group of books, and I will start with Ruth Rendell. My dad just knows how much I love her, and so when he is in a library and he sees a really cheap Ruth Rendell, he always goes out of his way to get it for me, which I really appreciate. It's good to have a bookish father in your life. So he got for me 2 standalones because I own all of the Wexford. So I'm done collecting those. He got me Portobello, and I love these designs. These just really, it's very understated. Just the black cover and then her name in red, the title in white, and then just a little picture. And he also got me The Girl Next Door. So similar design. And then I also own the vault that's in this design. And so I think they're really classy and kind of haunting looking. So Portobello says, walking to the shops one day, 50-year-old Eugene Wren discovers an envelope on the street bulging with cash. A man plagued by a shameful addiction and his own good intentions, Wren hatches a plan to find the money's rightful owner. Instead of going to the police or taking the cash for himself, he prints a notice and posts it around Portobello Road. This ill-conceived act creates a chain of events that links Wren to other Londoners, people afflicted with their own obsessions and despairs. As these volatile characters come into Wren's life and the life of his trusting fiancée, the consequences will change them all. Portobello is a wonderfully complex tour de force, featuring a dazzling depiction of one of London's most intriguing neighborhoods, Notting Hill, and the dangers beneath its newly posh veneer. So the Notting Hill neighborhood is definitely an interesting setting for that. And I think Ruth Rendell is a great meeting for those people who aren't that into thrillers, but like mysteries, or people who are into thrillers and think they don't like mysteries. It's a really good meeting of those two because her mysteries are very hard-hitting and hard-boiled. So I think if you like thrillers and you haven't tried out that many mysteries, you should try hers out. And then I just noticed that underneath the dust jacket, it's bright red. And then I love the classy silver font. So I'm just excited to own any other Ruth Rendell, and I definitely need to work on my standalone collection of hers. And then The Girl Next Door, which was published very recently. It was published in October of 2014, and she passed away January of 2015. So it was one of her later books. It says, in the waning months of the Second World War, a group of children discover earthen tunnels in their neighborhood outside London. Throughout the summer of 1944, until one father forbids it, the subterranean spaces become their secret gardens where the friends play games and tell stories. 6 decades later, beneath a house on the same land, construction workers uncover a tin box containing 2 skeletal hands, one male and one female. As the discovery makes national news, the friends come together once again to recall their days in the tunnels for the detective investigating the case. Is the truth buried among these aging friends and their memories? This impromptu reunion causes long simmering feelings to bubble to the surface. Mild-mannered Alan, stuck in a passionless marriage, begins flirting with Daphne, a glamorous widow who was once his teenage sweetheart. Michael, lonely after the death of his wife, considers contacting his estranged father, who sent Michael to live with an aunt after his mother vanished in 1944. Lewis begins remembering details about his Uncle James, an army private who once accompanied the children into the tunnels and who later disappeared. In The Girl Next Door, Rendell brilliantly shatters all of our most deep-seated assumptions about age, showing that the choices people make and the emotions behind them remain as potent in late life as they were in youth. So she just has such fascinating examinations of human nature, and I'm really looking forward to reading all of Ruth Rendell's books. Next, I was very kindly sent another book for review, and that is Every Heart is a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. This is more like a novella. It's 173 pages long, and it is about what happens to children that visit magical worlds after they come back and how that affects them and changes them. 1, the cover is insanely beautiful. 2, the title just really intrigued me. And 3, of course, the plot really intrigued me. Thank you to our publishers for very graciously sending this to me. I'm really looking forward to reading this and reviewing it. Okay, next I got a series that I'm really excited to get to. So for those of you who have not been watching my channel long, I really like classics a lot, and especially modern classics. I think it's fun to discover those kind of hidden gems that readers of classics might not know about. And so an author that I've heard about from several people now Elizabeth Gouge. I also have heard her name pronounced Googe, but just for the purposes of continuity, I will just refer to her as Elizabeth Gouge because that was what I first heard her referred as, but I don't know for sure that that's the right pronunciation. Anyhow, however you pronounce her name, I've heard really great things about her, and she wrote, let's see, the publication date on this. She was born at the turn of the 20th century in England, and she was pretty prolific. She has, lots of books out there. So I bought a trilogy by her, and it's called the Eliot Family Trilogy. The only bummer about these books is the covers are extra cheesy. So the first one is not that cheesy. This is The Bird in the Tree. The second, this is The Pilgrim's Inn. And third, this is The Heart of the Family. So this looks like extra cheesy Christian fiction, and I'm bummed because I think they could make like really elegant covers, but whatever. I really wanted the series. So I'll read you the summary of the first one because I don't want to read the summary of the second and third one because they have spoilers. It says, matriarch Lucilla Eliot fiercely loves, prays for, and protects her family. She has dedicated herself to making her house on the English coast a welcoming refuge of comfort and beauty. And she intends for all of it to be passed on to her favorite grandson David, who loves the home as she does. But her lifetime of labor is about to be destroyed by the very one who reveres her the most and understands her the best. When David falls into a love that threatens Lucilla's most cherished ambitions for her family, she gathers her strength to oppose it. Can she persuade David to put duty before passion? Her faith and inner fortitude have served her well in the past, but now she is at a loss to resolve the turmoil between herself and her beloved grandson. Family tradition, the love between a man and a woman, and the ultimate truth of a local legend are all woven together in this beautiful story, beautifully foretold. So I am reading A Suitable Boy right now. I'm really enjoying that, and I love like sweeping epic sagas of families and what happens to them. And so I'm really looking forward to reading this. So like I said, the first is The Bird in the Tree. The second is The Pilgrim's Inn, and then the third is The Heart of the Family. So it's just so fun to have a story that I have from some reliable sources that they've really enjoyed all of them, and I'm really looking forward to getting to these. Next, a used bookstore trip I took got me several of these books. The first is Lorna Dune by R.D. Blackmore. So I first became intrigued by Lorna Dune a few years ago when I watched a BBC miniseries of it, and it intrigues me because it takes place during kind of the Robin Hood era. And so I'm really looking forward to reading this. It says Sally Shuttlesworth, oh no, that's the person who did it. So it says, underneath an ostensibly idyllic evocation of rural bliss and a tale of love and high adventure, she finds a solid defense of Victorian social values, and in John Ridd's often humorous and self-deprecating narration, a problematic image of a manly hero whose inward doubt prompts him constantly to prove his own masculinity to himself. So Lorna Dune is also a tale of mistaken identity, and of course there's going to be some love in there, but like I said, the main thing that got me was the time period. I would love to read something set in, the oldest I go is like Regency period, and a lot of British stuff, it's Victorian, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. It is chunky, so hopefully maybe a buddy read would be in order, or I'll just have to set up a schedule for myself, but I definitely do want to read Lorna Dune. And next is a Elizabeth Bowen. And so I first found out about Elizabeth Bowen from Susan Hill's book, Howard's End is on the Landing, which is a great book for book lovers. And I love that she reads a lot of classics. So then the more modern books that she recommends, I really trust her recommendation and her reading taste. And so it says, the last September is Elizabeth Bowen's timeless portrait of a young woman's coming of age in a brutalized time and place, where the ordinariness of life floats like music over the impending doom of history. In 1920, at their country home in County Cork, Sir Richard Naylor and his wife Lady Myra and their friends maintain a skeptical attitude towards the events going on around them. But behind the facade of tennis parties and army camp dances, all know that the end is approaching, the end of British rule in the south of Ireland, and with it, the demise of a way of life that had survived for centuries. Their ward, Lois Farquhar, attempts to live her own life and gain her freedom from the dying class her elders vainly defend. So I think this will be really interesting because I haven't really read anything set in that time period where Ireland is wanting their independence. I've seen Downton Abbey while that's happening, but I haven't read anything. So that will be really fun and interesting, and I really do want to read some Elizabeth Bowen. And I like that it is shorter, so that's a nice way to start out trying a new author. And then one that I am especially excited to show you guys. So I saw this first in a Penguin edition, like Penguin Classics at Barnes & Noble, and was really intrigued by the plot. And that is The Betrothed by Alessandro Manzoni. He's Italian. And I became intrigued by the plot because one of the main characters, the villain's name is Don Rodrigo, and I realized that's what Jo March in Little Women uses as her inspiration for her villain in her play that she writes. And so I think she's taken some elements from this story, The Betrothed, and so I was really intrigued and I wanted to get it. And then I was at a used bookstore and I found a Folio Society edition for $2. $2, guys. So I couldn't not get it. The only thing that's a little strange about this edition is the top is black, which I like the dyed, page ends, but then the rest is white, so I don't know why they only did one side. But I am thoroughly excited. Yeah, this is just a really romantic, intense tale about the villain, Don Rodrigo, trying to separate the two lovers. I can't remember the two lovers' names, but anyhow. And then what I also was very excited about was there were wood cutting drawings, which I only have also seen in my copy of Larkrise de Candleford, and I absolutely love that style of illustration. I wish it was like still in vogue. So here's one. And then I'll show you one more. I just think it's so beautiful. Oh, and this has that wonderful old book smell. I just love it. Oh, this is so beautiful with the moon and the trees. So I'm really excited I found this Folio Society edition. I know it's going to last for a long time. I hope you guys enjoyed this second part of my book haul, and I will see you soon for the next part of my book haul.